Course testing and proctoring procedures for Moxie Learning online certification curriculums. Moxie Learning provides a secure method for students to complete e-learning training curriculums and to obtain industry and government certification through a live proctoring session. This short demonstration video outlines the rigid procedures Moxie administrators take to ensure the integrity of the students' e-learning course results and eliminate the possibility of cheating and fraud. Students who enroll in a Moxie Learning certification curriculum will register online and add their personal data into Moxie's secure registration form. These fields can include student name, company name, street address, email address, date of birth, and credit card information for payment purposes. Once enrollment is successfully processed, the student receives by email their payment receipt and a course welcome packet that includes the course policies, a student manual, their qualified instructor's contact information, and a technical support contact. In addition, the student is provided a link to Moxie's online learning management system, also called an LMS, along with their personal student ID and password. Upon successful login, the student will be presented with a personalized homepage displaying their assigned curriculum. The student is required to complete each module within the course curriculum in sequential order before continuing to the next module. Each module has learning objectives and interactive exercises or quiz questions that must be answered correctly before that module's completion is recorded. If the student answers a question incorrectly, the course is designed to provide remediation so the learner can discover the correct answer on their own. The system will return the student back to the spot in the course where the course material relevant to that question is reviewed. The student is then given additional chances to answer the question until he or she answers it correctly. There is no option to skip through any course material or quizzes. At any time, the student may contact their assigned instructor via email or phone to answer questions they may have on the course content. The instructor will answer any questions immediately during business hours or, if after hours, respond back by the next day. A technical support number and email for Moxie customer service is also provided to the student for assistance with any computer issues. Upon completion of all lessons and modules, the student is required to complete a course survey to provide feedback on the course content, the learning system, the instructor, and the quality of Moxie's administrative support. These survey results are available to the accreditation organization. Upon completion of all course elements and the survey, Moxie administrative staff and the student are notified by the LMS that the student is now eligible to take the final exam. A system-generated notification email with the proctor's contact information is sent to the student so that they can schedule a time for the live one-on-one proctored test session. As part of that notification, the student receives a test release and policies form that must be filled out, signed by the student, scanned, and returned to Moxie. This release allows for the storage, display, and sharing of the student's records into industry and government-approved databases. These records may include, but are not limited to, the student's name, full-face photograph, last 4 digits of their Social Security number, date of birth, course completion information, training provider, and instructor information. Once Moxie administrators receive all requested forms and releases, the proctored final test is scheduled at a convenient time for both parties. In order to take part in the online proctored final exam, the student must be able to access the Internet via a computer with a web camera and microphone. Using secure conferencing software such as WebEx or Skype, the student and proctor will join the prearranged meeting online at the assigned time. The proctor will proceed to set up a screen share so that the student's computer screen, as well as video of the student and his entire testing area, is visible to the proctor. At this time, the proctor will introduce themselves to the student. The student, on their end, must display a valid picture ID and hold that up to the camera next to their face, at which time the proctor will validate the student's identification with the supplied picture, signature, and information from the student's release form. As an extra security measure, a screen capture of the student and their ID is taken and held as part of the test record. Using a checklist to ensure all policies are explained thoroughly, the proctor will inform the student of their particular test policies, which, depending upon the certification course, may include a test consisting of 100 questions that are randomly generated from a pool of 300 questions, so no two tests are the same, to prevent cheating. The student must answer 80% correctly to pass. If they do not pass, they have only one more opportunity to take the test, which again is randomly generated. If the student fails the test a second time, they must re-enroll and take the curriculum from the beginning. For the duration of the test, the user is required to remain seated and visible to the instructor. If they have to use the bathroom, they must do so before the test starts. The student may not speak to anyone other than the proctor during the test, nor can anyone join them. No cell phones are allowed in the vicinity of the testing area. The student may not navigate away from the test page. The user may not look at any other reference materials. And finally, the student is informed that if they do not follow these policies, they will be failed. Once the student verbally agrees to these policies, the instructor will allow the student to start the test, which is taken online. The proctor will mute their microphone and quietly observe the student. If any suspect behavior starts to take place, the proctor can record video of the student's session for later referral. Upon successful passing of the test, the proctor will review all incorrectly answered questions with the student, providing further remediation and answering any questions.
Okay, yeah, I was a little confused about why I got the tagline question wrong. I know I put C, it should be knotted near the end of...
Yeah, the reason, Stephen, there's a real good reason for that, why you don't want to put the knot in it. Because that knot, if the tagline is dragging on the deck or near equipment, that knot can stop get caught up like in a railing or something. I've seen that happen. And
this provides time for the proctor to make sure the student fully comprehends the course material, even on those questions the student may not have previously understood. If necessary, the course instructor can be contacted to follow up with the student to clarify any knowledge gaps the student may have. At this point, the proctoring session can be ended. The proctor will document the test completion results, store all relevant data files, and proceed to process the course certification credentials for mailing to the student. All course certification records and their relevant files are securely stored within Moxie Learning's secure database and available for auditing purposes for a minimum of 5 years and longer if warranted by industry or government regulations.